And welcome back to Square Off. A warning last week from Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly. The Dreamers might not be around much longer. Kelly warned leaders of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus that the Trump administration might not defend President Obama's DACA program from a pending lawsuit. So where did the suit come from, and why is the administration apparently caving before it's even been filed? Attorney Ray Ybarra Maldonado joining us this morning. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
So how real is this threat from this looming lawsuit?
100% real. But let's make clear one thing. We will fight until the end to make sure the Dreamers who want to stay here can stay here. What's happening right now is you have attorney generals from across the country that are trying to pressure the Trump administration to do away with the DACA program that has been such a great benefit to thousands, hundreds of thousands of people here in the country. What they want to do is they want President Trump to phase out the program. If he doesn't do so by September 5th, they're saying they're going to file something in the Texas versus U.S. case to try to end the DACA program.
So September 5th is their deadline for Trump to do something, to basically to phase it out.
Exactly.
And so this is the program that grants these young people, young undocumented immigrants, work permits and allows them to stay here. However, the problem with the program is it's just been up to the discretion of a president or the whims of a Congress, which still hasn't changed the law. So this has always been a possibility, hasn't it?
It has. Even here in Arizona, when President Trump came to campaign, his commitment was to end the program on day one of being in office.
So he said he'd end it on day one, but then he said, don't worry, you're going to like what we do.
Right. And we really have no clue where he's standing at. Secretary Kelly met with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, gave some very pessimistic words to them. Out of that meeting, everybody came out very afraid. And then President Trump says later in the week, I'm the one that's going to make the decision. It's a very tough decision, and I'm the one that's going to make it. But, well, what is it? Be a leader. Make that decision so we can decide, do we need to fight you in court, or can we keep fighting on other issues?
Or is Jeff Sessions, Attorney Jeff Sessions, the one who will decide whether the United States defends itself? Isn't it really up to Sessions?
That's how we came out of the meeting on Wednesday with Secretary Kelly, thinking Sessions was going to make the indecision. President Trump comes out a day later and says, no, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the one that makes the final decision. So we'll wait and see what ends up happening with that.
Okay, so in the wait and see, what could happen if there is either a phase out, or B, Sessions, they just go ahead with this lawsuit? What is likely to happen to the Dreamers? What's in limbo, obviously, but for how long?
What we're hoping to see is that they do ask it to go to the court so the court process can play out instead of just unilaterally canceling the program. If you look at the transcripts of the Supreme Court hearing in the Texas U.S. case, it's clear that even those attorney generals are saying, we understand the federal government can say these people are not a priority to be deported, they just can't get a work permit. So we don't want to alarm too many of these young people and think they got your information, they're going to come to your house, they're going to put you on a bus. At least the position in that case was the president can say we don't want to deport you. They're just saying don't give them a work permit. So worst case scenario, they take away the work permits in the long run.
But this leaves young adults without anything to do, or having to go into the underground economy, or... Most
importantly, leaves them without hope. Right, what I see a lot in my business is young people who have these great aspirations, they have these great dreams of doing something better than what their parents have been doing for their lives, and they want to succeed. But then when they hear in the news that their government's against them, that the government wants to charge them higher tuition, wants to take away their work permit, it's a real depression. And to me, that's the humanitarian crisis here. These young people, were forcing them to really be depressed over their situation.
On another front, news report last week that ICE officers are now under orders to arrest any undocumented immigrant they encounter, not just anyone who poses a public safety risk, which is what President Trump had said. What are you seeing on the ground level right now?
It's depressing.
Is ICE doing that?
Yes, it's very depressing. What we're seeing now is anyone who comes into contact with ICE are being put into proceedings. And unfortunately, Bram, we're also seeing them being charged with federal criminal offenses, illegally reentering the country after deportation. I have people come into my office just in tears with their kids there, talking about how their husband was arrested. And of course, as an attorney, my first question is, well, what did they do wrong? DUI, domestic violence? Nothing. The man's a complete angel, never done anything wrong in his life, but they have him in federal custody, charging him with being illegally present here.
Compare this to 2007, a decade ago, when Sheriff Joe Arpaio was doing his immigration sweeps. Very public arrests versus today. How different is it? Are we just not seeing what's going on?
The only difference is the publicity. Sheriff Arpaio was very insistent on having cameras there when he did these raids. ICE is very insistent on not having cameras there when they do these raids. So the same thing is happening, the same amount of fear and panic and resulting loss is occurring as a result of President Trump's orders. We're just not seeing it in the news every day like we did back under Arpaio.
So I'm sure there are Trump supporters out there saying, hold on a second, this is what Donald Trump said he would do, so sorry, but.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many Trump supporters who are very happy, but I would like those people to be able to look into the eyes of the kids who are suffering as a result of their mom or dad being deported and tell them I'm happy about what happened. Because when you see that real human suffering, when you know what a child is going through as a result of having their mom or dad deported, your heart has to be changed or you have no heart.
All right. Ray Ybarra Maldonado, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.